And let's bring in our panel, former Liberal Minister and Principal of Zed Advisory, Zed Seselja, and former Labor Advisor, now with Premier State, Darren Barnett. Gents, thanks for your time as always. Zed, what did you make of the Newspoll today? Is there hope for Dominic Perrottet? He's still behind and the underdog ahead of the election?
You're right that he's the underdog, but no, I wasn't totally surprised because, you know, what I know of Dominic Perrottet, and I count him as a friend, is he's a man of great integrity, of great intellect. He's been, I think, a reforming treasurer and now a reforming premier. And, you know, I think despite some of the pretty disgraceful attacks on him based on his faith in particular, I think the people of New South Wales are starting to see what many of us who have known him for many, many years have seen, is that he is someone of the highest calibre, and I think he's doing a very good job leading the state. So he's got a big job in front of him, because getting 4 terms, I don't think it's ever happened for a New South Wales Liberal government, but he's certainly in the fight. The coalition is certainly in the fight, and I think he's doing an outstanding job, and let's wait and see what happens in a few weeks' time.
Yep, and Darren, the number that I noticed particularly was that improvement in his own personal rating, as Zed Seselja said there, and at this time of the electoral cycle is encouraging for him, I guess, but also in the context of a government in power for more than a decade. You've got Labor in power federally and most other states. It could be just starting to shift back as people potentially look for some balance between state and federal.
Look, I agree with a lot of what Zed said and what you've said, but it's also true. I think you're going to see a lot more of Anthony Albanese on the campaign trail in New South Wales than you will of Peter Dutton. I think the popularity of Anthony Albanese is a net positive for Labor, not a negative, and the capacity to work together on key areas such as climate and energy, such as health, I think will be a bonus. But that said, there has been some stabilising in the polls. The numbers for Dominic Perrottet are solid at this time. His approach on gambling reform, I think, has been a net positive for him in terms of personal popularity. He's seen as someone with a bit of backbone and conviction, and that has helped him in those polls. But look, Labor's probably got its nose in front, but requires a big 2PP win to get over the line. There are a lot of seats of 6% or more that must go Labor's way for Labor to form majority government. I also think it's a very big battle and an uphill climb for the coalition to get majority government. So I think any reasonable person looking at this point in time, a hung parliament is still by far the most likely outcome. And if you have a hung parliament, no one quite knows until the deals are done as to which way that will fall and who will be the Premier at the end of next month.